Or not yet?
Hello, Otter.
No. Does you have a brother named Frank?
I don't know. So I've worked with them.
Because I only know one.
If you were just
Chris, you have the master sheet, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. All right, then
Thank you.
Director Frank and Bill are both here.
Okay.
And Mr. Joe and Director Norma are online.
Okay, great. All right, let's go ahead and I'll call this meeting to order. I call this meeting to order at approximately 4:04 p.m. And I'll go ahead and start with roll call. Do we have Director Bill McDonald?
Here.
Director Joseph Santos?
Present.
Director Norma Castellan?
Here.
And Director Frank Santos?
Here.
Great. Do we want to take some time to review the last meeting minutes?
Oh, it was sent via email.
Okay.
Done.
You're
I'm done.
Okay. Does anyone want to make the motion to approve the last meeting minutes?
via email.
A motion to approve the last meeting minutes, sir.
Okay.
Second.
Great. All right. Let's go ahead and move forward. And I guess we'll start with the well, let's see. Would it be prudent to also do a roll call for the partners, or shall we just proceed on and wait for our partners to join in if there are any?
Well, we do have partners present, yes. You want to do
Okay.
Okay. We can do roll call.
Sure.
Staff as well. District Manager Jenilyn Abenales, present. Conservation Tech Savannah Garcia. Present. Conservation Tech Javen Cruz. Present. Rosanna Rosario, Outreach Specialist, absent. She's currently picking up posters for the contest. For our partners, we have James Pangilinan from BSP.
Present.
Chad Richardson from USDA APHIS.
Present.
And Adrian Lorizell from NAPAC. Present. And those are our
Great.
partners today.
Great. Wonderful. Well, thank you, partners, for joining in on our partnership meeting. And okay, so I shall then proceed to the next list on the agenda item, which is the Northern District's report out. So obviously, since the last partnership meeting, there have been new board of directors. And so I guess I could start with introducing myself. So I guess for the new directors, please introduce yourself. So hi, my name's Chris Rosario. I now currently serve as the chairman for the Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District. Next person on the list. May I call out Mr. Frank Santos to introduce himself?
Mike Santos, farmer, and secretary of the Farmers Co-op, I'm now the treasurer for Northern Guam Soil Water Conservation District.
Great. Thank you, Frank. And I'll go ahead and call out Mr. Bill McDonald.
Bill McDonald, farmer, Dania Heights, secretary for the Northern Soil and Water Conservation District.
Great. And so there you have it. You have three new board of directors for the Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District. And I do want to acknowledge and recognize that we do have still two current standing directors, Ms. Norma Castellan and Mr. Joseph Santos. We really do appreciate all the guidance that they'll be giving us with this new board. And I think for that, I can go ahead and now proceed to a little bit more about the Northern District's report. Okay. So I guess the first report out that I wanted to mention was, and I'll try to make this to fit too much information here, but regarding the fiscal year 2025 report outs, the Northern Guam launched and executed the Guam's first agriculture symposium in collaboration with Guam Sustainable Culture, Guam Department of Agriculture, and University of Guam. We had about 150 participants over the course of 2 days. It was a very successful event. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend, but I know there was a lot of great work, a lot of great outreach that was conducted during that symposium. I just want to mention also that we have, as we mentioned earlier, increased the organizational capacity by hiring a conservation technician and an outreach specialist. We also had applied for 2 new grants that were under National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. And these grants were geared to connect agriculture and habitat conservation, and some of the effects that they would have on the Northern Guam aquifer lens. We also had launched the Northern Guam Conservation.org website. If you have time, please take a look at that. It's Northern Guam Conservation.org. Since the launch, we've also had the district registration form on there, where I believe there was about 85 submissions of for those who have not yet registered with the Northern Guam district, please do so at this website, on the website. And then I think some of the big things that are coming up that has happened also, actually some of the things that has been initiated was the perimeter fencing grants. And so this is where we have our team coming out to assess some of the properties that may be participating in this perimeter fencing grants. We're hoping to bring in producers, verify their eligibility, and then kind of document some of the current land conditions. And hopefully with those producers, we help create a conservation plan, especially with our partner from NRCS with their assistance. So we're hoping Jay can help us assist with this conservation plan. One of the things that we also have been very active in is supporting the wildfire tabletop exercise with Guam Department of Agriculture Forestry Division. with Senator Vice Speaker Tony Atta. We've also had a resolution presented for Stewardship Week at the legislature's office. We've participated in Department of Agriculture ADS May Harvest Month. And as well as Guam Sustainable Culture Farmers Roundtable, along with the regular outreach events that we've had. I don't want to go too much in depth with this, but I think this is kind of overall, fiscal year 25 was a pretty good year. I will say though, I will not take any credit for any of this. I will say done such a great job in promoting the Northern Guam Soil and Water District by growing the staff and having some meaningful progress towards the mission. So I really do owe it a lot to where we are at today. I do owe it to the previous board members. So kudos to them. I think with some new partnerships though and expanded capacity, we're hoping that we can have more key initiatives with the district, especially to demonstrate some of the growth. Obviously me as with the leader, I think I can help in any way form of capacity with the current expertise that I have in invasives. I could hope to bring this to the table for conservation and sustainable agriculture, as well as continuing to engage with the community across the island. All right, that's all that I have to say. I think it's enough talking for me, and I'd like to go ahead and move on forward with the agenda, unless any other of our partners or anyone has any questions or anyone they'd like to add to the Northern District's report.
Hey, Chris, just a quick question. This is probably too preemptive here, but this concept.
Sure.
Like, is that just like a concept that's being like pushed forward to start drafting, or
which one? Which concept? You must have gotten cut off. I didn't get. Repeat that one more time. Sorry.
How far along are we with the conservation plan? Like,
you know what? That's a good question. I probably don't have a lot to say about the conservation plan at this time. I think the first thing is we want to see who are the farmers, who are the producers, right, that were eligible, right? And then what were their land conditions? I don't know how far we are along with that, but as long as they have gotten if they've gotten into the registry, and then we're able to have our team to come out and assess. I don't think we're at the point where talking with NRCS just yet, until we kind of have a good participating list for the district registration. So I would say not that far along at all. So I think the first initiative right now is to get the producers to come out, for the producers to reach out, or even for us to reach out to the producers, and so that we can then go out and assess and then come up with a conservation plan from there. So that conservation plan, I think, would then be the next step would be getting in touch with Jay Dornilla and have some assistance in creating that plan. Because to me, I think what's going to happen is what we would do kind of map out all the sites, all the producer sites, all the land conditions of those sites. And then from there, then we can, see what are the needs for some of these producers. Does that make sense? I hope that answered your question.
So the reason why I asked is because, so again, this is James from BSP. And I'm under the Guam Coastal Management Program, that department, but one of our dual mandates, is speaks to really centralized planning and helping the cause to create plans, essentially.
Okay.
So, if there's anything that, any support that we can provide within our capacities and our mandates, please just keep us in thought.
Great. No, that's just hugely important. Thank you. No, I'll definitely make sure to capture this in the meeting notes. And I think when we're at the point where we have all of our producers kind of registered with the Northern District, then we just start doing the land assessments. I think at that point, you guys are going to be a huge help in helping us. I mean, especially with the maps that you guys have already set in place. So, no, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the follow-up. Any other questions or anything to add to the Northern District's report that I had missed, or that anyone else wants to emphasize? Please chime in now. Otherwise, we could move on to the next agenda item.
I can add a little bit more to the Northern District's report, Chair. So the island-wide poster contest, we're collaborating with Southern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District. We're currently collecting posters at the Guam Museum for teachers to make their submissions. The team will be rotating to pick up and document the posters, then judging will commence afterwards. We've already outreached to judges, so one from the north, one from the south. Director Norma is outreach, so she's in that one. We also outreach to local artists as well as Melvin Borja to also be judges for this poster contest. The Guam Soil and Water Conservation Districts will be hosting the 2026 NACD Pacific Southwest Regional Meeting in August 24 to the 30th, 2026, next year. And then our partners will be invited to attend, so please mark your calendars. And then the Guam Species Council Governance Committee is drafting a letter to Congressman Moylan to request more funding in regards to Guam's feral swine issues. We're calling our partners to provide any data and to submit that to Savannah as she drafts, so we can have a solid letter to send to Congressman with backed up data from our agencies.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Actually, man, I missed those two major points here. No, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, the letter to the congressman is huge. It's very important, and I think it's going to really help connect all of us in all the state agencies to get involved, even to help provide some of that funding. So, thank you for mentioning that. Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else that I missed? That was very good. Thank you. I apologize for missing those two big points here. Okay, I think if not, then we can move on to partners report. We can start off with, unless anybody else has anything, I'm going to go ahead and start and just call out our partners.
Yeah, so again, this is James from BSP. I have nothing currently to report on. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, James.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and move to Mr. Chad.
Sure. I'll talk whenever you let me.
I'll repeat myself a little bit because I know there's several new board members, but some of you know I took over our feral swine portion of the work about a year ago. So this is kind of the first year under my belt. And, you know, I made a few changes based on some of my experience and stateside. And one of the big things that I think has made a difference this year is rather than rotating different technicians in and out of the trapping from different places, different times, I immediately went to basically got enough funding for 2 trappers is the way it's been this last year, and I'll talk more about increasing that here in a minute. So with those 2 trappers, I wanted a trapper in the north and a trapper in the south, and I wanted those people to be part of that community. So I essentially got a trapper that lives in Dededo, and I have a trapper that lives in Jonia for the south. So those guys, you know, I want, you know, I'm modeling this from the states, you know, in those areas that I grew up, that I worked with in our program, they are part of the community. They work there, they live there, people know them, and that's the kind of culture that I wanted to create here. That's something that we didn't have prior to this. And so this year, and not only that, but that gives those trappers the ability to increase and hone their skills because they're doing it all the time. They're doing it every day, as opposed to rotating different folks in and out of that. So that's one of the big changes that I made this year for you guys' information. And I think, you know, the results show that. We took a record number of pigs this year. We took total island-wide around almost 1,200 pigs, 1181 to be exact. That's October 1 to October 1, or September 30th. Numbers for the South, and I will just so you know, a part of our agreement, we have in the agreement, I'll provide an annual report with all this stuff to you guys, 60 days from October 1. So I'm working on it. I have a draft, so I will get you an annual report with all these numbers that I'm kind of spewing right now. But for the North, for this fiscal year, we ended up documenting around $64,300 in damages with the folks that we talked with. That was 44 different landowners that we worked with. So, you know, a fairly substantial amount of money, but we know that that's still probably a drop in the bucket compared to what's going on out there damage-wise. We took 735 pigs in the North on those properties. And let's see what else. So I guess that's all I really kind of have numbers. I'll make is what I've been preaching this for, you know, both districts from the moment I started a year ago is, you know, we have combined funding from various sources. We get funding from the North District, we get funding from the South District, and then I have federal funding that comes from the National Feral Swine Damage Management Program. That federal funding has always been sort of a set amount of money. To the territories all get a set amount of money. It was 125,000. It's slowly inched up to around 137 now that we get from the federal side of things. And so that provides us at least a base level of funding. Ultimately, that really only gets you a person and a half or so, and that's why, you know, we started trying to expand the program, and we came to the districts, and we've got, you know, money from folks people. Immediately when I started last year, I know we're just scratching the surface. We're basically mitigating damage. We're not killing enough pigs to really impact the population. Mitigating damage is very important, and we do what we can with the funding we have. And so that's all we really have been able to do. but I wanted to find, continue to increase capacity and search for more funding from other sources, including my federal partner. So, just last couple months ago when I was back in Fort Collins, I'm hitting up those folks too and saying, hey, we really need more help. So I'm working it from my side of the aisle. And over the course of the year, I spent a lot of time developing relationships with the mayors, presented to the mayors, and because a lot of those calls come from right inside the villages. So they get a lot of those calls and they will. So we were able to, I haven't quite gotten the signed agreement, but I have, it's almost signed. That's some additional funding from the mayor. So that will kind of get thrown into the pot as well. And that I hope will get us to that third person. So my intentions going forward into this new fiscal year is to have essentially 3 full-time trappers. And I'm kind of right now the way, because you guys pay a heavier load than the South, you guys get the heavier service. But in my opinion, there's more work there too. And the South and the North is a larger district, if you will. So probably the way I will break it down going forward is I will have more or less someone working the central part of the island, and they may still do some work in Jonia area as well. But so we'll have sort of a northern, a central and a southern kind of trapper. So we'll cover the bases that way. We still do get some funding from Retidian, from the Fish and Wildlife Service up there. So that also helps supplement work in the north. And so that's another $25,000 a year that we're getting from them. And as we eliminate pigs in the refuge, the refuge has no qualms with us branching out and working on some of the private property adjoining those refuge lands too. So that's all going to be, again, beneficial to the island as a whole. So yeah, we're looking good. That's where I'm at right now with funding. We do have some additional funding that we got through a grant with Department of Ag that'll kind of throw into the mix as well. So for me, it's just going to be a matter of trying to keep track of where all this funding is. And it's a little bit of a challenge because everybody wants their piece of the pie. In a perfect world, I'd love to be able to just put all the money in a pot and build this island-wide program, which is what I have in my vision. For me to try to figure out a way to make sure that everybody's happy and they're getting their money's worth for what we do. So that's my biggest challenge going forward, is making sure that I can do that and make everybody happy and show this is what you're getting for your piece of the pie. But yet I want to convince everybody that we're all working together. Yeah. This is all eventually going to come and turn into an island-wide program. And I'm speaking primarily on just private lands. That's not talking about any of the military lands, is what I'm working on now. So.
Wow. Well, great. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's about all I got. I guess if you got questions. I think the North, again, for you guys' continued support, for the program, because it really makes a big difference. I did I brought some, you guys did presentation that I gave at the Ag Symposium. Well, you two.
Oh, no. Oh.
Were you there? Were you sitting down on it? Okay. All right. I
was doing track and
okay, you guys were there? All right. I didn't see it.
Well, wonderful. That's just wonderful work, Chad. And that's inspiring work that you're doing, helping, change a bit of the culture, around, feral swine trapping and making it more community based. I mean, this is, to me, that's outstanding and inspiring work that you're doing for the island. So really kudos to you. And, you could not have said it any better when it comes down to funding and trying to make others happy. We definitely want to make sure that, everyone is getting their money's worth, and the conservation practices that you're doing is, thank you again for all the eradication work with those pigs.
Yeah, and the one thing I mentioned at you guys' last board meeting is I do make an effort to try to go to all the board meetings when I can, because sometimes I am not able to make a partner meeting. So, it's nice to kind of slip into one of you guys' normal board meetings if I happen to miss a partner meeting, so I can at least give you a quick update on what's going on. So I do my best to try to get to all of them, but sometimes
We truly do appreciate your participation in these meetings. So thank you.
Chairman.
Chris,
Yes.
let me comment too.
Sure.
The Ganya Heights had over 200 in 3 months trapped by these guys. And we've been trying to get the village people to,
Back there again.
yeah,
It was over there again already.
it took me over 4 years to get a trap in the village, besides mine. Okay, they've been helping me out. My contribution is like, what, 35, something like that, to the 200 plus that they caught in the village. And it was Joe Rabot. I need to mention his name.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, because he was the one that talked to those guys, the private owners, and they finally agreed that the federal people can go in there and do their traps. Okay, so yeah, I've been working with them, and they have been doing a very good job. They're good trappers.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, and
Thanks for adding to that.
one more piece, Chairman, if you don't mind, but that's another thing that I've changed since I came to, is because from my experience in the States, my trappers that worked for counties, county commissioners, whatever the cooperator was, they were engaged at these meetings too. It wasn't just the supervisors that were showing up. I wanted those cooperators, those county commissioners to see those trappers and know them as well too. And so I changed that. I mean, Joe would be here tonight. He's moving traps right now. But I will also make an effort to get those guys to these meetings as well, so that you can interact with them directly, and they have skin in the game, and they understand the administrative side of it too. So
Fascinating. That's great. Great work. Great work, Chad. Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't want to take too much time in this meeting. Let's go ahead and move forward to our next partner. I'll go ahead and proceed with Adrienne Lorizell from NAVFAC. Thank you again for coming.
Not too much update from us. We're a little bit slowed down because don't have budgets and are in shutdown mode, but work with the Repi team continues, so they're actively trapping right now. And there's a few more quarters. That one is every 4 months, so that is ongoing. And I'm not sure if you're aware, they have a project under a different grant, not funded by DOD. It's south of you all, but they are going to be, I think, branching out. They're working with PD Mayor to do PD traps. And I believe there's 20 traps associated with that effort. And because it's a fairly small village and they have more traps, I think, than they need right now, they're working with him and the other mayors to move forward into other villages. So they're working out the details of that right now. I'm not actively involved in that, but that's just another project that is happening in terms of feral swine control.
Wow, nice.
And then other than that, I think just sort of status quo to get our new budget and the revenue perspectives moving forward. So that's all I have, unless you have questions.
Thank you, Adrienne.
We also have one more partner, Chair. It is Barbara, Island Grove Howard.
Hi, Barbara.
We had a big meeting this morning. We've gotten a couple of grants, and it's aligning with our 25th anniversary of Put a Sun, Sing a Song / Island Girl Power. One USDA grant is going to completely rebuild our community garden. We have 27 plots on karst, and 8 inches is just not enough for our planting beds. So we're going to 16 inches and new concrete block on our plots. We have funding for materials, but not for labor, so this is a big call out for labor to all our volunteer groups to finish that project, by February. We also have a soil building grant with them, and again, we're gonna build up from our cars on about 50% of 1 acre. It's a multi-stage effort on our part, and we'll probably have 6 inches of soil built up on our karst in the next 2 years through that effort. And I just want to put a reminder out there, we're always looking for funding on our 11-acre limestone forest restoration project. I was very impressed with Adrian's presentation on the hybrid pig fence, which is not a big investment. Got a net and fiberglass poles, and it's easier to put a gate in. In my group this morning at our meeting, I said, well, we need to grow, I don't know, 300-400 native plants to plant against the fence, assuming that a miracle happens and we get an 11-acre pig fence around our limestone forest sometime. We were on a grant that you guys submitted. They got lost in the funding this past few months. So anyway, any updates you have, or always keep us in mind for that, because we're putting out 250 native trees in November, December this year in a high density planting, and get from Home Depot and hope that they don't get into those trees. But anyway, so
Wow.
unless you have some questions, that's our environment.
Well, that's great work. You mentioned how many grants do you guys have? I'm sorry, I must have missed that part.
2 small grants from USDA, materials only, and then we provide the labor and equipment.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that. That's great. Let's see. Wow. Well, great work, partners. I mean, your continued work, is really well appreciated, and, for sure it would not be overlooked. Moving forward, with partner reports, any other partners we have either in the room or in the Zoom? Looks like no. In our Zoom conference. So I think that is it for partners reports. Thank you again, partners. And now shall we move on to public comments? No public comments. Okay. Let's go and move on to announcements. I think, Jen, you did mention the announcement, which was the Pacific Southwest region, which will be held August. I'm sorry, I missed the date here. Is it August?
The 30th.
Thank you for that. I think that's kind of the big announcement there. Another announcement is the NACD meeting, which is going to be held on February. Again, I don't have my dates right. February, is it 13th to the 16th? And that will be held in San Antonio, Texas. That's the National Association of Conservation Districts. those are the only announcements that I do have so far. Any questions on the announcements, or anybody else want to add to the announcements? Okay. Let's also go ahead and move our partnership meeting. I know it's, as you see on the agenda, the partners meeting is held, well, it was scheduled for December 23rd. Can I make the motion to move the partner meeting to December 16, 2025? All right. I will make that motion. Does anybody want to second that motion?
I'll do it. Second.
Okay. The motion was set to move. Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. The ayes have it. All right. Our meeting is set for, our next meeting is December 16, 2025. Okay. Anybody else or anything else before we adjourn? Well, wonderful. I think this was a great, productive meeting. Thank you for all your updates, and we hope to see you at our next meeting with more partners involved and actively engaged. Thank you again for everything that you guys do. I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 4:44 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.